Hi everyone, my name is Saanika Dutta, and I'm the creator of Lite, a web app that detects and helps correct gender bias in writing. I created this app because gender bias in documents is an increasing problem that results in medical death, lost job opportunities, and sexism within our community. The purpose of Lite is to increase inclusivity by identifying gender-biased words or phrases and suggesting neutral alternatives in writing to combat the harm that gender bias in our everyday text causes. The app is designed for students, teachers, and professionals in our community who are affected by gender bias and want to be aware of it in what they read and write. An example customer is Sarah, a teacher who wants to be sure there's barely any gender bias in the material she gives her students and that her students are aware when there is. I built this app using HTML for web page structures, CSS for styling, and JavaScript for the website's functionality. I used sources online such as W3 Schools and MDN Web Docs as resources for this project. I trained the model in Python using pandas and scikit-learn, and I used a logistic regression classifier. I used VS Code as a code editor, and the website is hosted on GitHub Pages, so it runs entirely online and locally, so no data leaves your browser. Here's a demo of Lite. As you see, our homepage features a button for our analyzer and tips pages, and our logo is located at the top. When we start analyzing, notice I have clicked yes on both model score and highlighted gender phrases. I can unclick them if I want to remove the features. My model is automatically loaded. However, if a user wants to upload their own model, they can. Now, I'm going to paste a job report that is obviously gender biased. See the high gender bias probability score on the top right and the highlighted biased words. Users can instantly compare their original paragraph with a more inclusive rewrite generated by the app, and through comparing them side by side, learn how to make their work less biased next time. However, when I put in a very unbiased job report, it gives me a bias probability of 0%, letting the user know that their document is all right. As this project expands, I want my model to get better at detecting more nuanced examples of gender bias. As you can see, I also created a resource page with guides from the UN, World Bank, and other universities on using gender-inclusive language, so community members can also use Lite as a platform to learn. Here's my dataset of 80 texts, 64 of which are used for training the model. Here's a training script that creates a text representation of how important a word is and fits a logistic regression model on the dataset I compiled of bias in neutral sentences. Once trained, I exported the model as a bias model JSON file, which the app loads directly into JavaScript. This is the main JavaScript file that handles highlighting, calculating bias scores, and switching between the before and after views. All code has clear comments in it that explain each research and the resources I used to learn it. All in all, Lite can have an enormous impact on the inclusivity of our community, and thank you so much for watching my video.